now, police on a pursuit of this white pickup truck you see here through North Hollywood. We're hearing that this suspect may be armed. We don't know how many people are in this white pickup truck, but you can see it speeding down these residential roadways. Earlier, Gio, we saw it speeding down what looked like a street filled with homes there, just whipping through intersections at this point.
We're also being told that this suspect is wanted for a disturbance call, but right now, as you just see, potentially avoided something or perhaps someone there. Cars coming to a bit of a stop, turning into what looks like a parking lot. And as Leslie pointed out just a few minutes ago before we jumped on air with you to show you this pursuit, it was sort of moving at a pace before then picking up significant speed, hitting a couple of speed bumps of sorts, and now sort of taking off. This is in the North Hollywood area, and we've seen at least multiple units in pursuit, as well as the chopper. You see the lights on top of the vehicle right now, and even some things in the bed of it, though, again, still trying to figure out exactly what led up to the situation and what's going on. Yeah,
at this point, we know obviously a very dangerous suspect behind the wheel. And police already know somehow have figured out that this person could be armed or is armed. So every precaution they want to take when it comes to stopping this pursuit. But of course, their goal is to get the driver to come to a stop peacefully. So we're going down North Hollywood here, Chandler Boulevard, and it looks like this person is going to just go ahead, take that intersection, not following the rules of the road, as we always see with these pursuits here, going about 70 miles per hour now down residential roadways.
And that's an important note there, going that fast in this particular area so far. You see the amount of traffic that's in the way. You see the potential danger that this truck is getting into. And of course, in the Violent Ave, Magnolia Boulevard and North Hollywood area, this is not the 5. This is not a major highway. This is not a stretch of road where you're going to have sort of an unfiltered stretch of miles where he or she can just go for 70+ miles an hour. But you see this change of speed left and right in an area where just about anything could happen. Notice one officer in pursuit, at least one officer's vehicle in pursuit just behind, as we continue to follow this right now, approaching Toluca Lake. So again, this is a very residential area, a lot of cars, a lot of homes, people who like to take evening walks, perhaps with their dogs, with their kids. It's just a lot of hazards and dangerous situations.
Yeah, dangerous situation. I do want to get to Dave Avila, who we have on the phone, retired LAPD helicopter pilot here. Dave, can you hear me?
Hi, Leslie. Hello, Jill. Yes, I do have you. And this is North Hollywood. I've been told that there's definitely a weapon involved, possibly 3 suspects inside this vehicle. So, like, you have any type of pursuit is a dangerous one, but now we're talking a suspect with weapons, so that kind of alleviates things like the pit maneuver, even though it has been done. But like right now, you wouldn't want to negotiate a pit maneuver. You're just too close. Possibly a spike strip, but that's even dangerous unless you get a
Dave,
bomb.
you're probably watching this seconds behind, but that car just stopped. The driver just stopped. It looks like they do have their hands outside the window, both on the passenger side and the driver's side. The passenger getting out rather quickly, though, and they open the door, shut it, and now have their hands outside of the window, both the passenger and driver's side. So at this point, not sure what made this person stop, because we know that police didn't use any tactics here, or at least we didn't see it happen.
Right.
But at this point, they are following the commands of the officers.
And you have one officer back there that's going to be giving out the orders. And what we want to do is we want to take out one suspect at a time. Right now, this is controlled, so we can go ahead and keep. We don't have to rush through it. So what they'll do is they'll ask the driver to throw the keys out of the window, open the door from the outside, if they will, and then open the door, step outside, put their hands up, and then raise their shirt up like we've seen before. But what they want to do is they want to take one suspect out at a time. So that's what they're doing right now. They're going to get that together. But, yeah, so far from what I see, Leslie, and you're right, I was about 12 seconds behind you guys. It looks like they're not complying yet, but, they're parked right behind that Volkswagen, so it doesn't look like they got an immediate getaway.
And to try and fill, don't mean to cut you off here, but to fill in this gap in terms of the delay that you have with your video and the video we're seeing live from SkyCal right now, you're right, it is parked behind that Volkswagen Beetle. Looks like they're in Studio City, the Toluca Lake area. You saw a little marker there on a street sign. So again, residential area, but you see at least 2 suspects. I know we mentioned there was a possibility of 3, but at the bare minimum, we do see one in the driver's side and one in the passenger side, hands out on both avenues there, and still sort of waiting this out. As you mentioned, officers are probably walking through a slow process of making sure that everything is safe, not just for them, not just for these suspects, but of course, given the fact that this is very residential, a lot of people like to walk around this area at all points of the day. We see an officer right there. It almost looks like he or she is giving commands right now, and there it is. Just as you pointed out, you're going to see that the driver of this vehicle is reaching out through the window, opening the car door slowly, and again with both hands extended, making it a very slow, deliberate effort to step out of the vehicle, and then we sort of start working our way, walking backwards, hands interlocked over the top of the head, walking away from the vehicle and working toward a very safe end to what has been a very dangerous situation in the last few minutes since we've been keeping an eye on this.
Yeah, and Dave,
what they'll do, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just find it so interesting that this person recklessly driving through the streets of North Hollywood, evading officers, we know possibly dangerous because they, police believe they had a weapon or have a weapon, but we saw them give up rather quickly, pull to the side and start, listening to officers' commands. Do you know if officers used any tactics on this pursuit prior to this car coming to a stop?
No. Okay. No, so far I haven't received any information about a spike strip or any type of maneuver used. So they're going to, but like I said, they're going to take this one suspect down. And the most dangerous thing about this too is, remember, that back window is covered up. It looks like there's a lot of equipment in the back of the truck. So, you always hope for the best, but you're prepared for the worst. So you want each suspect just to comply. We'll see if they do. So far, so good. So it looks like now they're pulling out the passenger.
Yeah, that second passenger, on the passenger side door, is also doing following the same procedure that we just saw with the suspect in the driver's side of the vehicle, stepping out slowly, hands up in the air. Presumably see the same thing we just saw a few seconds ago with the other suspect walking toward him and laying down on the ground. As we zoom out from SkyCal, you can see a wider view of this perspective. And going back to that point about what we saw in the trunk of the vehicle, it was just sort of a collection of items, at least from our perspective. To your point, there was what seemed like a storage container, a couple bags, an empty water jug of sorts, also just a collection of things right there in the back of the truck. So as we still try to figure out, of course, what prompted this entire situation, and it's worth asking as to Leslie's point earlier about what perhaps got police to get these suspects to stop, because you mentioned there's no pit maneuver. Obviously, safety is a concern. There's no spike strips, also, given the fact that there was the possibility of weapons involved in this scenario. But given your experience, is there anything that you can see as a sort of perspective in terms of what got them to stop, or was this just a matter possibly of the suspects just saying, all right, it's time to just slow down and have this come to an end?
Yeah, Gio, I think you just hit it on the head right now. I think that they don't have a high-speed performance vehicle. The thing's, it's a pickup truck. It's not going to be the most stablest thing on the road. And I think they just finally just gave up and just said, hey, we got the air unit overhead shoving that night sun in our eyes. We got the black and whites, a bunch of them behind us. They know we have weapons. It's going to be a high-priority stop. So, and then one thing about, remember, you got the helicopter overhead, and they're not just lighting up the vehicle. They're checking for... they'll go out in front, be a TFO, look in and see if you could see anybody else in the cab. But it looks like there is only 2. I thought they had told me 3, but it looks like just 2.
Yeah, Dave, it looks like just 2, and now police have made their way to those suspects. The suspects not moving, complying, and they are not resisting. At least it doesn't seem like it. They have one in cuffs, searching his pockets right now. They have the other one right now, able to get him into handcuffs as well, and now searching that person's pockets as well. And it looks like this has come to a rather peaceful end, but it is very interesting when you see these pursuits and these drivers just so recklessly make their way down residential roadways, not worrying about other drivers and other people's safety. And, you know, Mike Rogers on our assignment desk was texting me saying that pursuit went by my mother's home and I could hear just how fast it was going. And we saw speeds were at about 70 miles per hour. But it, for something, caused these two suspects to immediately pull over and begin to comply with officers.
And again, adding to go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to kind of tailgate off of what Leslie was saying, because I was with my kids years ago, and I'm on the side of the road of my private vehicle, and I forgot what I stopped for, and all of a sudden I look in my rearview mirror, and here comes a pursuit, and it is freaking scary. When you got the suspect going by you at 60, 80 miles per hour. So absolutely, if there's no doubt. It is a very scary thing. I experienced that myself on the streets.
Yeah, it is one of those situations you do not want to be a part of, and you just want to pull to the side. Dave, we're going to wrap up here since this has now come to an end. We thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Happy Father's Day if you do celebrate.
Oh, thank you.
and
Leslie, Gio, thank you.
Of course.
We appreciate it.
We're going to go back to more news here tonight.